What is a shinobi? Any person with a heart called to serve, whose discipline has made them dangerous, is hereby titled shinobi. These are their stories. What's up, my ninjas? We're live and in studio. Welcome back to Shinobi Chronicles, hosted by none other than Zero Abyss and Naseem King. Our goal here is always to provide inspiration, education, and motivation for our fellow shinobi who are walking the path of greatness through achievement and service. As always, it's our great honor to serve you all, so we will not disappoint. I hope y'all have been pursuing your highest selves over this last week. Today, we're going to be discussing why you set goals with deadlines, the importance of your circle, and responding to some fielded questions. Naseem, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's that. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Naseem, have you ever had a to-do list, my dude?
Of course.
Probably a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what kinds of things have made it onto your to-do list?
Besides my big goals, I sort them down to shorter goals. So I think I said this our last podcast. So I have a basic goal of becoming an artist. So basic things of learning anatomy, learning how to do certain things, basic circles, stuff like that. So I plan on, there's stuff like having a house. You gotta learn everything about this. So to-do list is starters, doing your research on anything, and two, set up any steps you need to take to get that huge leap you need.
I think it's safe to say a to-do list really can be comprised of all kinds of things. Pretty much any goddamn thing can make it onto your to-do list. So I think in general, you probably had things like, you got your general stuff, clean your room, wash the dishes, don't forget to put those clothes in the dryer. Me last night. You got your mid-range things like, hey, read this book, or maybe learn to play the guitar or whatever. And then you're also gonna have your lifetime desires. You probably got your, hey, make $1 million or visit these cities and these countries. So a couple things that are on my to-do list right now are gonna be I need to check out this podcast called Midnight Gospel. Somebody recommended it to me. So I just wanna do some market research. I'm still in the middle of finishing Russell Brunson's Traffic Secrets. Paper gold, by the way, paper gold, don't y'all miss that. Let's see, you already told us some things that are on your to-do list, but are there any things that have made it onto your to-do list that just never got done?
Yeah, plenty. The way I work is people suggest things to me and I say, yeah, I'll check it out. And I do have intentions to check them out.
Hell yeah.
And it goes on my to-do list. I look at them this thing is more important than that, so I'll just cut it off to the side and just never got worked on.
It goes that way. It really does go that way. If you had to guess, how much of your to-do list, if you put in a percentage, how much of your to-do list do you think never gets done?
I would say a good 60%.
60%? 60%? That's fair. All right, so y'all check me out. I heard a stat a few years back, and I checked in on it the other day. But it would tell you that 41% of everything that goes onto your to-do list never gets done. 41%. That's what Google says, and can't remember where I heard it, but regardless, that's what I checked up on. Still though, that's helpless. I would say imagine never accomplishing 41% of your goals, but we really don't have to imagine because that's the reality, that's the truth of it. So a to-do list is a goal graveyard. Things get slapped onto that list. And like we already said, 41% of them will never ever get done. Can you recall like any important goals that you might have put on a to-do list that died in the graveyard?
Important ones? No. They usually get put off until like further notice.
Right.
But like I said, any little small ones, yeah, they just die in graveyard. My important ones, nah.
Okay, I like that. You said if it's a priority, I'm getting to it. Can you think of any, like, what are the reasons maybe why things make it to the to-do list and don't make it out? You know, they make it to the graveyard and don't make it to the other side.
You said things have other priority, and for me, my attention span is trash. So as soon as I see something else that I like, I'm gonna pursue that and cut off everything else behind. That's just how I am, unfortunately.
I feel you. I know for me personally, like, one thing that's made it onto my to-do list like a long time ago, like, is my Spanish fluency. I swear, like, I've been killing off and resurrecting my Spanish fluency goals for years. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. So initially I blamed my mom. I said it was her fault that I didn't learn Spanish. Because look, check me out. So I'd been learning Spanish in middle school and high school. In middle school, you do half semester, like 7th, 8th grade. So middle school, you take Spanish 1. And then from there, you can take 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, if you want to. And ideally, by the time you get to 5, not even ideal, I mean, if you take 5, you pass, you fluent. That's how it was set up to go. So I've been taking Spanish in middle school, high school, or whatever. No big deal. Oh, I should have did this sooner. All right, so I've been learning Spanish in middle school and high school, and it had been going well up until my sophomore year. See, as a freshman, you could have got that pretty young, cool teacher. I can't remember her name, but it was the pretty young, cool teacher. You know who I'm talking about. Everybody wanted to smash. Yes, you got her. And then you could have got the older, more irritating teacher. And just my luck, you know, as greatness requires struggle. This we know, I landed the nightmare option. Dr. Hilker. I really may never forget her name, like, I'm so serious. So Dr. Hilker, as it turns out, had gone for a doctorate. Dr. Hilker, as it turns out, had not gone for a doctorate in like an educational field, okay? Wasn't a psychologist, it wasn't like doctorate of linguistics. She'd been a medical doctor. Like, I think if I recall right, she said that she specialized in like helping diabetes people like get their diet right so that they didn't lose limbs. Cool, got no problem with that. But eventually she needed some more time with her family, so she decided to become a Spanish teacher since Spanish was her first language. Now, none of that's a red flag on paper. You know, you're a medical doctor, you speak Spanish, like, all cool. But let me tell you something, like, knowing Spanish for yourself doesn't automatically qualify you for teaching Spanish. It just don't. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not here to shit on Dr. Hilker that much. But subjectively speaking, subjectively, I didn't say objectively, subjectively speaking from my own experience, teaching, it just was not her talent. Like, it just wasn't it for her. Regardless, my freshman year, I did all right in her class, you know. I didn't like her as my teacher, but I was cool. You fast forward to my sophomore year though, and of course I look up and I'm in Dr. Hilker's class again. Young, cool, fat teacher still there. I don't know what the counselors was on. Maybe they're like, well, you made it one year, so you can make it another one. I got Dr. Hilker again my sophomore year. All right, whatever, right? Like, I can do this. I made it last year, like, I'm good. Up to this point, and it's late in the year in my sophomore year, I've gone through 3 semesters of her class, like, already done with her as my Spanish teacher. First one, my freshman year, I got a B. Second one, I got a B. First semester, sophomore year, I got a B. But keep in mind, she liked me. And why? You know, mostly because I was a decent kid and I was good at Spanish. Like, what else is there to it? So everything is moving forward as it should be. Up until that one parent-teacher conference, that one, where my mom decides to tell Dr. Hilker that I didn't like her. In an attempt to repair our relationship. WTF, Mom, what were you thinking? When I promised you that I could have cussed my mom out, up and down, like, all through the school, and the whole ride home, and then some, like, bro. So suddenly after that conference, I got a D in Spanish that semester. Now, I can only speculate why, because I'm not the one doing the grading, but I have this belief, you know, when the teacher gets a choice of whether or not she's taking off points for a minor mistake, you know, you miss an accent, she could write on the paper, hey, you forgot your accent, or she could mark a point off. I don't know, but like when she gets that choice of taking off points or just correcting, I'm pretty sure there's leeway for some personal bias. Needless to say, after getting a D in Spanish for that semester, I refused to take any more Spanish because Dr. Hooker was the only Spanish teacher for 4 and 5. She was fluent in the language, Spanish was her first language, whatever, so I was already in Spanish 3. My chances of getting young, bad, cool teacher, God, I can't remember her name. They were gone, bro. I feel like it started with an E, but it don't matter. If I was taking Spanish anymore, I was getting Dr. Hooker. And after she knew that I didn't like her, I just wasn't taking that chance anymore. So afterwards, for a while, I blamed my mom for telling her that I didn't like her. Now, nowadays, I do believe in taking total accountability for the outcomes of the things in our lives. So if I had really wanted, like, if I had the discipline then to pursue that Spanish, like, I'd have stuck with it. And shit, I probably would have done my work so efficiently, so well, that Dr. Hooker wouldn't have had no choice but to give me A's. But different times, we learn how we learn. So regardless, since then, my Spanish fluency goal has been killed and revived, like over and over and over again. It's like, and I jump on, make some progress, fall off. Jump on, make some progress, fall off. And it's kind of like how you said, things that be on your to-do list will get trumped out by things you like better. Like, I've fallen off the Spanish wagon so many times, yet in years, I've not fallen off the Japanese wagon. I stay on that goddamn Duolingo, but I like Japanese more. I want to know it more. Like, come on, check me out. If y'all probably can't see that, but regardless, I like Japanese more. So I've stayed on that pursuit, whereas the Spanish is just, you know, it comes and it goes. Revived more times than I can count, really. All I can say is that, like, while the to-do list may have provided value for a time, they're far from your friends when it comes to actually getting things done. Like we said, 41%. That's more than a third of everything you slap on there is not getting done. So instead, like, how do you make your goals a priority? Naseem, like, what's our most precious resource? What do you think?
Most precious resource is the internet, honestly.
Internet's a good answer. Any other, like, what's like really valuable to humans? Mine too. Mine is like
your eyes, observation.
True. I mean, well, sorry, blind.
Sorry.
What I was kind of going for here is when I think of our most precious things, like resource, when you get down to the nitty gritty, I think it's time, because you can make more money. You know, you can get more stuff. If your hearing goes out, you can get AIDS. I mean, if you get stupid, your mind, I mean, you can resharpen it, you can study again, unless you're in dire condition. Oh, I mean, we're not going to get to the specifics. Regardless, I think the answer is time, because a moment wasted is a moment wasted. You're not getting it back. Like,
that's true.
I'm not like a predeterminist. I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, you're born with 76 years, 12, 13 months, you know, whatever. I can't. But hypothetically, like, if we do all have an expiration date, we have a time where we're passing on, like, these moments that we're getting, each one, when it's gone, it's gone. So I think that our most precious resource is time. A lot of good answers, like the internet, our minds, like all this stuff is top tier, but I'm gonna vote time. And as Lil Wayne said, if we could buy time, every store would sell it. I mean, I think he was on point. It's the truth. The problem with a list, a to-do list, is that it does highlight what we want to do, but it doesn't designate at all how we should allocate the time. So the question then becomes, what's the right tool? In 2020, as I was really just setting out on my Shinobi path, like I was just figuring out, like, I need to sharpen up, thinking I was trying to get into the entrepreneur game and all. I was watching a lot of this YouTube channel called Valuetainment. And this is Patrick David's channel. I probably talked to you about it before, and y'all gonna hear about it a lot too. But Patrick David, for anyone who's familiar, you know, he's an excellent teacher, great entrepreneur. I think he's behind the PBD, like, insurance. Don't quote me. I gotta do my research. Either way, check out Valuetainment. You can't go wrong with it. Like, there's value in the entertainment. It's really straightforward. Y'all check out Valuetainment. Anyways, in one of his videos, the specific topic, I can't remember, but he brought up the concept of a to-do list, same as we talked about here. And he told us a lot of, like, what I've already said, you know, and why it's ineffective. But he also provided the solution. And it's funny because the answer is really right in front of you. But for one, he said, anything that can be done in 5 minutes or less, like, knock that shit out, bro. Like, why procrastinate? If it's not gonna take you more than 5 minutes, like, get the shit done. Like, why put it on the list? Like, you're gonna spend more time putting it on the list, and it will take you to just do the shit. So, for one, he said, if it's gonna take you less than 5 minutes, like, just get that shit out of here. But as far as like beating out the to-do list as far as beating out the to-do list for longer tasks, the answer is really simple: the calendar. Naseem, what do you think might be some benefits of planning your tasks by a calendar as opposed to a list?
A list, you can cut this stuff off indefinitely, but a calendar, I'm a procrastinator, so I'll do things like right before the designated time, especially like in school. Like I'll do homework right before class.
Not just you, man. Not just you.
Yeah. So having a calendar, it will push you forward.
The benefit of the calendar is that the calendar is a tool for measuring time. With time being our highest value resources, he said that if you have something that you need to do, then what you need to do is find a slot for it in your calendar. For one, it allocates a certain amount of time towards doing whatever the task is. You know, if something is going to take an hour, your list doesn't tell you that. When you put it on your calendar, you're blocking out like, okay, from 8:30 to 9:30, like this is my designated time for doing that. So beyond that, it allocates a certain amount of time, which is going to help those of us that wake up thinking we can get 1,000,001 things done, and then we get to the end of the day and we still got like 999,000 things to do because you don't have the time to get 1,000,000 things done. I'm gonna just let you know. But additionally, it requires you to prioritize, because as new things come up, you can judge in advance like whether or not there's gonna be conflict. If I come to you and I say, hey, let's stick an extra gym session in on Friday, and you say, oh, let me check my calendar. Oh, I got whoop whoop wop going on. I really don't have the 2 hours. There you're already prioritizing, because you can either say, hey, what I already have in that time slot is more important, or you can say, okay, let me write that out. We're gonna do the new thing instead. The last big reason why we plan on the calendar is because it creates deadlines, and deadlines are huge. So I want y'all to think about this for a second. Do any of y'all have any of these memories, like when your mom woke everybody up first thing in the morning before she left for work? Or maybe she sent a text and she said, y'all better have my house clean before I get home from work. That ever happened to you, boy?
Oh, no.
I swear it didn't. I'm pretty sure most of y'all can relate, because anybody mom, like y'all know how moms are about having their house clean. So, but tell me, what would usually happen?
We do it last second.
My point exactly. So here's the thing. When y'all know that mom is getting home at 4:30, whatever it might be, nobody's gonna do a goddamn thing until 3:38, or something like that, right? Yeah, we're not gonna get active until the last minute, because the deadline gave you all day before you needed to perform. Nobody performed until all day had passed. And that's just the thing. Deadlines create urgency. So if you give yourself too much time as a deadline, the urgency won't kick in until the last minute, and that's when you move the meeting. But if you give yourself if you give yourself all day to get something done, you're going to spend all day. Whereas if you give yourself 2 hours, you're gonna find that the same thing that took you all day last week only took you 2 hours this week. I want to say a few years back, I saw where Elon Musk said that you need to take your 10-year goal and ask yourself, you challenge yourself, how do I figure out how to do this in 6 months? He said, though it's likely that you're gonna fall short, in 6 months you are probably not accomplishing 10 years worth of work. You're also all but guaranteed to be further ahead than if you had just said, okay, well, this is gonna take me 10 years. And really that right there is the mic drop for the segment, You use a calendar to plan, you use it to set deadlines, and if you really wanna push yourself to achieve, that's just it. All right, so moving on, we're wondering what's the impact of the company you keep, right? As in, how much does your friend circle impact you? Naseem, have you ever found yourself running with some knuckleheads or stuck with some idiots on a group project?
Yeah.
And how did that go for you, Doug?
I usually did work myself, but to be fair, I was one of the knuckleheads too.
You getting to the point. You jumping the gun, my boy. You getting to the point. So let me just ask this: would you recommend the experience for somebody else?
No. No.
All right. So let me ask this instead: Have you ever spent some time around somebody that you looked up to or somebody that you like thought was better than you or something, and then you found that you improved in that area by being around that person?
Of course.
Right. Humans have these things called mirror neurons. Mirror neurons. And their function is essentially to mirror what they see others doing around us. Robert Greene spoke about mirror neurons in the book Mastery. Robert Greene, paper gold, I'm letting y'all know. But essentially he said the same thing, when we're around mentors or others, somebody that's more advanced than us, and we're able to observe them doing whatever the skill, task, or whatsoever it may be, our brains are just, these mirror neurons in our brain, they're there to help us observe and mimic, mirror, if you will, mirror neurons. So it's essentially like when you join a football team and you suck, but after spending like all that time around others, who know the sport, may have been playing longer, whatever it might be, by the end of the season, like you're not too shabby, okay? So do any of y'all remember like being younger and getting in trouble for doing stupid shit with your friends, and then you tell your mom, well, Josh did it, so I did it too? You ever had that happen?
Nah.
That was never you?
That was never me.
I forgot. He doesn't go with the crowd, y'all. Okay, well, I can say it happened to me. I don't remember what the fuck I did when I was a kid, but I know there were a good number of times where somebody did some bullshit, so I did some bullshit. I was one of the knuckleheads too. I don't know about y'all moms, but mom would always be like, okay, so if Josh were gonna jump off the bridge, would you do it too? Then the rebel in me would be like, yeah, if I had a bungee cord. But I get the point. Yeah, I get the point she is making.
I always said nah. I was like, no.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have too much fun with that shit. I gotta get some more sound effects in here. Anyways, my grandpa, on the other hand, what he would say when I would get in trouble is that he would tell me that you become like the 5 people who you spend the most time around. He would say, if you spend all your time with 5 dope fiends, you're gonna be the 6th dope fiend. If you spend your time around 5 clowns, you'll be the 6th clown. And it's kind of like you said earlier, you was running with the knuckleheads, you was one of the knuckleheads. Same thing, I was running with the knuckleheads, I was one of the knuckleheads. And so like, at the time, I understood conceptually what it was they were saying. Like, it makes sense, it's not that hard. But after some time, quite some time, I understood the other side of that, which is that if you spend your time around 5 future millionaires, you're gonna be the 6th. Or when you spend your time around 5 solid ass shinobi, you're gonna be the 6th. Humans as social creatures, we do need social settings for acceptance and just general connection, yes. But the reason that it's so important that we're selective about who those associates are is because your network is your net worth. I know y'all have heard it before. Anybody if you're into self-improvement, entrepreneurship, any of that at all, I know you've heard it before. Your network is your net worth. Don't miss that. When they tell you it's not about what you know, it's about who you know, it's about not just who you know, but who are you around, who are you absorbing from. One more time, your network is your net worth. Don't miss that. Whomever we surround ourselves with has a huge impact on who ourselves turn out to be. Now, seeing you of all people know what I like to say, and y'all gonna get used to hearing me saying it on the show, but I'm gonna say it again right now. Iron sharpens iron. It's just that simple. When you surround yourself with other go-getters, you effectively have no choice but to hold yourself up to the standards of the group members around you as they seek to level up. As those around you are breaking limits, you'll be motivated and edged to break your own limits as well. Shit, like for all my anime folk out there, just think of every pair of shonen rivals. Every pair. Now see, name me some shonen rivals.
The go-to is Naruto and Sasuke, Vegeta, Goku, who else is there? Can't think of nobody else right now. Rivals. Oh, Bakugo and Midoriya. Yeah.
Bro, I'd BS you not. You named the 3 that I got on the list here. Regardless, in these pairs of shonen rivals, have you ever seen any one side be okay with the other side surpassing them in power? Like, cool.
Of course not.
Hell no, you'll never see it. Not Goku and Vegeta, not Naruto and Sasuke, not Midoriya and Bakugo, not whoever the fuck you watching. If they got a rival, nobody is cool with watching their boy get ahead of them. and sitting back, chilling in the lazy boy. You're not gonna see it. So, really, I mean, like, you can ask yourself this. Does any one Power Ranger ever get a power up without the others getting something the same or equal, like shortly after? No, it doesn't happen. Whatever you might believe, I'm telling you out here, the answer is no, because iron sharpens iron. The moral of the story is that, like, as a 20 to 30 something, or even as a 30 to 40 something, whatever your age group might be, if your main circle is not discussing business, investing, sharing knowledge, skill building, enlightenment, things of the like, then the time for a new circle is overdue. Because if you're kicking it with 5 good for nothings, chances are you're the 6th. But when you're running with the wolves, whew, you gotta be a dog too. And that's just that. All right, so for this final segment here, we're just gonna be answering a couple of fielded questions. I had a busy weekend, so we didn't get that many questions. On one count, I was asked to discuss how shit should be versus how it really is. He ain't put a lot of context into that, but I think that leaves the door open for us to have conversation. So let's figure it out. What is shit out here? How should shit be Naseem? And then what shit really like?
Dang.
Shit, I mean, it's a lot of answers. We could. There shouldn't be world hunger because we got the resources, but it is how it is. It's the age of Aquarius, bro. Internet age. Ain't nobody got no excuse to be a dumbass. I'm gonna say it again for the dumbasses out there watching and the knuckleheads and the dope fiends. Nobody has an excuse to be ignorant. The information is right here, dog. Yeah, if I had my celly, it's right here in the palm of your hand. You got a supercomputer on you, dog. You got the internet. Like, go to where the free Wi-Fi is. Post up at McDonald's if you have to. The information is out there. Additionally, I'm not gonna fake it. It's too much information out there. Shouldn't nobody be like a big lazy bum? All the evidence tells you otherwise. I mean, I know people be going through that, but at the same time, we got calisthenics. Like, you can't, I don't have a gym. That's not an excuse. We got calisthenics, bro. Like, you can work out with your body, sharpen up. Like, it's such an open-ended question, like how shit should be versus how it is. But the truth, I mean, there's a lot of things that should be different. We know how it is, so anything how shit should be versus how it is?
Going back on what you just said about the internet should be full of facts, but there is false information on that book. There is false information, so
yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Everybody on that.
That's true. Okay, that's true. I'm glad you said that because I've seen a stat before. Somebody said that, like, misinformation, false information spreads 6 times faster than the truth. That's crazy. I mean, you know me, I'm not a astrology is everything kind of guy. Like, I study astrology, I think of it more or less like a language. I think there's information to be learned in it, but it's not everything. But I will note, they say that with every age, we were in the age of Pisces before, and now we're in the age of Aquarius. They say, like, of course it comes with inherent benefits that come with that age, like information age. So we got the internet, there's information everywhere. But they say that the flip side of that information age is that we're also in the misinformation age, and you just quote that stat there. Misinformation, like lies, deceit, spread 6 times faster than the truth. That's crazy. But the sad thing is because misinformation often makes for a better story, and people typically care about the story more than the truth. Like, they just want to be compelled and entertained. So, that's a good one. Bro said the internet should be true, but it's not how it is.
It's not, unfortunately. True. An example, like you said, in the gym too. Like, you never tell me see people do push-ups wrong. Yo, because what? All the information out here, even on my Instagram reels, I see multiple people correcting people's push-ups. Yeah, I still see it every day.
He's spitting, y'all. He's spitting. He's not making this up. Like, I'm not gonna show y'all these nasty push-ups. I don't want to burn y'all eyes out. Like, I don't think you can call those push-ups.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I give you all start somewhere, but if you're in a gym with a membership, meaning you have at least a job, meaning you at least went to school that had gym class, you should have been taught how to do a proper push-up.
Facts. Hey, but I'll run you another one since you brought up school. How the school system should be, we should be embracing diversity, individuality, helping people to manifest their gifts, teaching people practical life lessons such as emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, emotional regulation. I think there should be spiritual practice in school. I don't think it has to subscribe to any personal religion. I don't think it should have to subscribe to any particular religion, but spirituality, just in general, everybody seems to have their own sense of spirit and what they think is above. The school system, regardless, at the very least, we should be embracing diversity and creativity, whereas instead we're slapping down standardized tests and teaching people that there's only right and wrong, and we're also teaching people to be afraid of failure. That's another thing. School should teach you to embrace failure, because failure means experience. It means that you're trying. Imagine if a newborn was crawling around, they worked on standing up, they came up to the couch, they stood up, they took a step or two, then they fell down, they said, oh shit, walking's not for me, I failed. We'd all be out here crawling around looking dumb. Whereas, it's because you get up and you fall down and you get back up and you fall down and you get back up. You bust your ass and you get back up again. That failure paves the road to success, and school teaches us, oh, you got a wrong answer, so you're done. It teaches people to fear failure, so people stagnate. That's definitely another one. The school system should be helping us to evolve and grow, not shutting us down and teaching us to fear failure, but that's just, hey, how shit should be versus how shit is.
Right. Well, y'all taking an L is not a loss. It's a learning experience.
Yes, sir. L is for lessons. Everything's a lesson or a blessing. I can't lose because I'm either blessed or I'm blessed with a lesson. So here am I, man. L for lessons. I think we're good on that. Shit for how it should be versus how it is.
Yeah.
All right, and then secondarily, we were asked to discuss the mentality of embracing the process. So the question I think that we kind of feel is, why do people only want to celebrate the results without acknowledging the process?
That's a good question. What would they? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I don't know. I can't.
All right, so I got an answer for y'all. Don't credit me. I just study. Look, check my Instagram bio. You're gonna find it. Jinsei no Gakusei desu. That means I'm a student of life. That's all I am. Eternal student. Here to learn. Robert Greene gets the credit for this, man. Y'all know I be sucking that man up, but his work is good. No homo. No pause. Hey, regardless, Robert Greene, his work is legendary. Y'all gonna enjoy it. Any of y'all take me up on this, go pick up a Robert Greene book. If you ain't checked out 48 Laws of Power, Mastery, Art of Seduction, go pick up a Robert Greene. You're gonna thank me. Regardless, I believe it was in Mastery, but it might have been in Laws of Human Nature. I can't recall, but I know it came out of a Robert Greene. People will convince themselves that it was luck or something special about you, rather than accept that the only difference was that you were willing to put in the work and they weren't. Because if they say to themselves, oh, he got this skill or the talent because he put in 5 years of hard work, he put in that discipline, then they also have to look at themselves and say, well, shit, I'm just lazy. And nobody's brain wants to, everybody wants to see themselves in the best light. So rather than accept the reality that skills, talents, gifts, they all take time to be manifested. They all take hardship, struggle, and growth, that we got to fall down before we learn how to walk. They'll just say to themselves, oh, he was just lucky. He was in the right place. He was just special. And that gives them permission to not recognize that you're a lazy ass. That's basically the answer that he gave.
Maybe on Fat Boy Hours.
Yeah, but when Fat Boy hours become Fat Boy months, and when Fat Boy months become Fat Boy years,
you just permanently a fat boy. Permanently a fat boy. Is it that one? Just accept it. Or change it.
Or change it. I swear to God. Listen, I'm a strong believer. All people have the potential for greatness. Many people waste it. Maybe even most people. But I do believe not only do all people have the potential for greatness, but all people have the capacity for change if they should so choose it. But it's your choice, not mine, obviously. Regardless of the thing is that when you grow a tree, when you plant a tree for the first time, even a 3-year-old baby tree to speed up the process, you're going to wait 10, 12, 15, maybe 20 years as that thing grows, evolves, and matures before it's going to produce anything. We live in this society, especially our instant society with our microwaves and stuff. It's taught us that everything comes like, everything should be, and that's simply not how things come about. Everybody wants to enjoy the fruit. You want to pick the apple, pick the orange, but nobody wants to grow the tree. That's where people get lost on embracing the process. So that's my 2 cents on that. Anyways, I think we're in a good spot, you know. I think the people heard what they need to heard. You think?
Yeah.
All right, so like I said before, it's our great honor to be able to serve y'all here. You know, we don't come out here and do this for nothing. So if you made it this far in the episode, we just want to say thank you for listening all the way to the end.
For real.
We came to this platform to be able to serve others who are striding down the path of greatness. And those of you who are lending your time and your ears, that's who makes this possible. So whatever platform you might be consuming on, be sure to like this episode. You participate in our blogs, man. Subscribe to the channel for more insights on the life of a modern shinobi. Don't forget to connect with us on Instagram, TikTok. That's where you're going to find our short form content. We're going to have the interviews on that, little segments from off of here. And lastly, if there's anybody you'd like to see on this show or that you'd like to see us on their show, if you want to see a collaboration, I need y'all to reach out to them and let them know that you want to see us working with them. I'm going to say this every single week because it's the truth. Content creators create for their fans. I'm going to run that back. And for those of you in the back that missed it, and for those of you that are slapping your little brother and you missed it.
Dang.
Content creators create for their fans. So when you tell your favorite creators that you want to see a collaboration, that's what gets their attention pointed our way. So be sure to shout us out to whomever else you're watching and listening to. I hope everybody out there is having a great day. And remember, choose with your actions today who you're going to be tomorrow. Will you be greater than yesterday?